Welcome back. You're still watching Tonight, and you're having a conversation with the Cabinet Secretary at the National Treasury, John Mbadi, and you're raising your questions with the e-government procurement. There is Nicholas Leboy who is saying, could the system be enhanced to allow verification of all certificates, for instance, KRA tax compliance certificate, by merely entering the certificate number rather than requiring full document uploads? That's a question maybe you may want to note down, Waziri. Dantek, you're saying, I gave up on chasing tenders. Politics, corruption, and favoritism make it impossible for ordinary players. E-procurement may modernize the process, but not the mindset. Ask CS Mbadi how areas with no electricity and internet will perform their functions as per the perfect system he's talking about. Questions of internet and electricity stability. Does the e-procurement system negate PPRA rules? If no, then the monkeys remain to be monkeys in a different forest. I don't know what exactly you mean with that. Then another question here is, no single procurement has been done on the system since 1st of July. How is government operating, and how long will it take for the EGP to be operational? About the operationability of the system. And then there's another question of essential services like exams, medicine. How come some have applied for EGP Kenya like 1 month ago and they have never been authorized? Why the hurry instead of piloting the system? Some of the questions from our viewers this evening. Waziri, do you want to take them?
Yeah, so the system we are talking about, we are very clear that this system should be one where those documents that are available through government system should not be the reason why someone should lose a tender. For example, there's a KRA certificate, NCA certificate and all that. So we are very clear on that, and the system should capture that. On the issue of no procurement has been done since July 1st, let me make it clear. There is no procurement you can do unless you upload the budget first into the system. Even presently, the manual system, you must first of all upload it in IFMIS. Then after IFMIS, then it goes manual. But now this one, from IFMIS, it goes to e-procurement or EGP. Now, what we are doing at the moment, and which will be concluded over the weekend, is that all state departments will be uploaded in the system.
So none has finalized that process? No state department has finalized that process?
Actually, the one that is far much ahead, that has already been uploaded into the system. We have ESCC, is leading the pack. PPRA, in fact, I'm very grateful that ESCC is leading the pack. PPRA is already in. The 3 departments of National Treasury by tomorrow will be in the system. The budget will be uploaded. And we are uploading other state
So as of today, your department cannot procure?
No, as today, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so after...
Is it a problem? Is it causing unnecessary delays in the implementation of the budget?
There is no much delay. There could be some delays, because when you are starting a new system, there would be a delay. But that delay should not be used as an excuse to do away with the system. What we are saying is by next week, every state department must be in the system, because my team is working over the weekend.
What if they are not?
And for the county, what if they are not? I will deal with my team, which is supposed to make sure that that happens. That is why I'm there. I'm leading the team. And I've designated one of my principal secretaries, the one in charge of public investment and asset management, that his hands must be on this until everything is concluded. All the counties which have been cleared by control of budget must be put in the system, and I've given them again also up to Monday. So everybody who is ready should be uploaded. If you are not ready, like those counties which have probably not submitted their budgets to the controller of budget, or those which have not been cleared by controller of budget, there is nothing they can do. But those who are ready, the moment, and now IFMIS department is working with EGP department seamlessly to make sure that every budget that is in IFMIS is translated into EGP immediately. And then the procurement plan is done in the EGP. Instead of doing it now in IFMIS, it's to be done in EGP, then they start the procurement process. So by next week, most state departments should start procuring. And those which will not have started, we will deal by case. And let me give you this again, because you asked this question. How do we help people who are not techno-savvy? You see, Sam, we have even gone a step further. We are proactive enough We know that we have trained in all ministries, all state departments, all counties, we have trained public finance management officers. But still at the Treasury, we have put a pool of TOTs, trainers of trainees. We have put 100 of them. And we have even decided to cluster the State Department, put them in clusters. We have clustered counties, and we have assigned specific officers. And I've even mentioned in my press conference that those officers, each one of them, we are going to put them on the website. So you know, if you're coming from Bungoma, you know Sam Gituku is the person. If you have challenges, you quickly get in touch with. The telephone numbers will be there. All the contacts are there. We are giving them support because we know that the initial stages of a new system will face challenges. Right. So we've gone a step further. We are training 40 more to help give the backup to this system because we are interested in the success of this system. You've had one of the Kenyans who has sent a message saying they have given up. Right. And that is what we are trying to cure. We cannot be in a country where for you to get a tender or win a tender, you must know someone who knows someone. We must allow everyone to be able, because this country belongs to us. Inclusivity is paramount. It is at the center of this constitution.
Okay, so that training takes care of procurement officers on the government side?
All public finance management.
How about the suppliers?
The suppliers are being trained. Let me read this to you. We have registered 7,637 suppliers, okay? We are conducting, let me also read this to you, we are conducting training. Over 4,000 suppliers as we speak are going through weekly webinar trainings are being undertaken to help them. And those suppliers are also free to contact our team, the pool of 100 officers at the Treasury to support them. But we are offering training every week to suppliers, to users. Everybody who is using this system is being trained. And as we speak, if you want to know that this system is already working, I've told you, as we speak, already 7,637 suppliers have registered in the system, meaning they know how to use the system. Okay. So the system is rolling out. It's only people who are opposing the system who are actually they are resisting the system.
You know, the reason I'm asking that question is because you said that once the documents are in the system, you cannot amend.
You cannot amend.
Edit. So if suppliers make a mistake,
you can reject. So if the mistake has been made, then and you find it is a mistake, there is a provision for rejection
from the procuring entity.
The document can be rejected. So the procuring entity can reject the tendering process and start afresh.
No. The question I'm saying, for these suppliers, if you upload your documentation and there's a mistake and you realize there's a mistake, you still cannot amend? You
cannot amend, you cannot delete, it can only be rejected.
And you cannot apply afresh? Because if you double apply, then you lose, no?
I'm sure you cannot double apply because then you defeat the system. Okay. Yes.
All right. Now, I want us to also make an appreciation of the current events because the Social Health Authority has been having issues. They have a system that has been managing how claims are managed. I don't know, as a Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, this is an issue that concerns you and what needs to be done because you're rolling out a system at the same time. The Social Health Authority has rolled out a system and you've seen the challenges 11 months in.
You know, Sam, let me tell you something. I have not interacted much with this system, but I'm very happy with this system from what I read and what I see. Why am I happy? I am happy because this system is able to identify that there is a problem, that people are trying to cheat. You know, cheating and trying to manipulate and trying to defraud the government has been the order of the day in this country. It was with NHIF we were not able to discover. Now that we have a system, a digital system, that you can discover that there is a problem here, we should applaud it. We should celebrate it. So for me, I am not unhappy that I'm seeing what I'm seeing happening. I am happy that we are able to know that there are people who have been trying to cheat, trying to steal in the system, and the system is catching them. The details, I may not have the details. It's not too late because I may not have the details because there is people, I've seen media saying that there is a theft of public funds, loss. the ministry is saying that no money has been lost. But the bottom line is that we have a system that we can transparent enough for us to discover that there are people who are trying to manipulate the system.
All right.
To me, that is the essence of digital system. People will try to cheat using systems, even.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not the CS for Health, so I'll move away from that until you have an appreciation of what exactly is happening. But as all this is happening, you also mentioned that we are in a tight fiscal space, that much of our resources, you said, is it 48% going to payment of debt? And at the same time, not long ago, you spoke about, and you'll be listening to that particular clip on when you spoke about education and capitation. And you are saying that you are not able to sustain the capitation of 22,000 shillings. How much can you afford?
You see, Sam, again, unfortunately, you are repeating the same misreporting on my face. I did not say we are not able. I am saying we are facing difficulties in funding the 22,000 per child in senior school, 15,000 shillings per child in junior school, and 1,400 per child in primary school. Why? Because look at the budget. The budget we have provided is not enough. By the way, even the budget that I sent to the National Assembly was reduced by the National Assembly. And you see, once the National Assembly passes the budget, that is the budget. I have to implement it as is. But last week on Monday, I had a meeting with the CS Education, with his 3 PSS. I also met him with my PS and our technical team. And what were we looking at? We were looking at the funding gap. We were looking at the actual cost per student. Because for over 7 years, this country has been saying we are giving free primary education, free secondary day school, but the amount being allocated is not sufficient. That is what I was saying. We must make it sufficient. I was not saying we cannot. Please, I want that to go out. I was saying it is not sufficient. And let me repeat this. So what are we doing now? We are looking at that gap. Then I advise the government through the cabinet to allocate more money through supplementary budget to fill in the gap, so that we don't hear this story from principals that you still owe us money, yet we have disbursed 100% of the budget. So that is what I was saying.
To be fair to you, let's listen to what you said in Parliament so that we can quote you accurately.
Total budget for the year, and you divide by the number of students we have in this country. Instead of 22,000, we are funding up to about 16,900 shillings. If we work with 22,000 per child for senior secondary school and the 15,000 per child for the junior secondary school, and we work with 1,400 plus per child for free primary education, you will get higher figures than what is in the budget. The budgets cannot support the 22,000 shillings.
Exactly.
Budgets cannot.
So have you listened to that?
Yes, I've heard
I
that.
said the budget. Yes.
So the budgets cannot sustain the 22,000 shillings. So that's what I'm asking you. When you look at all the resources that we have as a country, how much can we afford? And why did we even reduce how much is going to per student to 16,000?
We did not reduce, Sam. I want to repeat this.
Okay. How much money has been going to the schools?
I want to tell you this. Listen, it varies every year. And listen to me very carefully. For 7 years, the budget that Parliament has been allocating to schools cannot sustain the policy required amount to students. The budget has been put, National Treasury releases it 100%, but if you divide it by the number of students in the country, it is less than 22%, it is less than 15%, it can vary every year. If you ask me to come with the statistics for each year, I would have come up with it. For 7 years now. What I'm saying is, if you look at the budget that we have today, which Parliament approved, and you divide it by the number of students, you will not get that per capita.
You mean the number of students in public institutions? In
public institutions.
Are those figures known?
The figures are known, but there are question marks. And that is another story, Sam, because it needs auditing, and the ministry is already coming up with a new system, the KIEM system, away from the chemist system. So what I was saying is this, and I hope you listen and you understand me, that the number of students reported in the country with whom we allocate money to. If you get the budget that is there today for capitation, the 54 billion for senior secondary school, about 30 billion for junior, and 7.99 billion for which was reduced, actually was cut. These amounts were cut by Parliament. These amounts, if you divide by the students, you get a lower figure.
I wish you could tell me how many students we have.
No, I don't have the figure. That is why, you know, maybe you are not listening to me. I said we had a meeting with the CS Education and the PSS, and we formed a technical team to go and make sure that they calculate the funding gap for education. Because there's a gap. Get the funding gap for capitation for basics education, for TVETs. They are also doing for for universities, including health, which we have allocated 41. Then we have those figures. Then we will propose how that gap should be funded. What you are forcing me to say, which I cannot do, is that the money that we have in the budget, if released, will be enough to give to each child 22,000, 15,000. That is not correct.
Okay. I am not forcing you to do anything, but even before you came to government as a cabinet secretary, there was already an admission that the amount of money going to per student was about 17,000. And I remember having a conversation with the president, and he said as much. So indeed, there has been such a reduction.
So what is the question? So the question you have been asking me.
Just listen.
Yes.
The question I'm asking is, because these resources that are available here, and you keep allocating resources in the budget, how is it that you allocate resources, not you, but the government, allocate resources without information about the actual number of learners? Why can that continue to happen at a time that money has been spent to come up with the National Education Management Information System, an electronic system?
So you see, Sam, that is why we are working. You know, when you find there is a problem, in any management, there is usually a problem. That's why we are in these offices. If you find there is a problem, that the amount that is being allocated to our children is not enough, or does not conform or match the policy requirements, the best thing to do is look for solution. And what I did, you know, I was not speaking in a baraza. I was not speaking in a funeral. I was speaking to members of parliament who allocate budget. And remember, the same members of parliament even reduced the budget that we sent. Just go and check the allocation from the National Treasury vis-a-vis what came from the parliament. So I was telling them, instead of asking me why we have not released 22,000 shillings per child, you are the people who help us in making the budget. Get to know that the amount you allocated is not enough. And therefore, when we are going to make decision going forward to supplementary budget, make sure you help me put more money into the budget to be able to release the money that you want to go to the children. That is what I said.
Okay.
So is that a mistake?
There's the other question, because I want us also to appreciate the state of the economy, and particularly on the question of now the new way of financing government projects. And I'm sure you've heard of the securitization of the road maintenance levy, RMLF, road maintenance levy fund, to an extent that you can now get a whole 175 billion shillings. First of all, talk to us, because yes, this is a new model, but essentially, isn't it also a public debt?
So, Sam, let me explain this to you. I wish we had even much more time, because securitization is an issue that I thought we would find sufficient time to discuss. Many people have not understood it. Let me tell you this. Securitization is probably new in Kenya, but it is not new in the world. It is the order of the day. Everywhere in the world, people do securitization. You see, if you have some predictable sources of revenue, you can use it in a more prudent and economic manner. Sam, I will give you the example of sports funds. We have been operating sports funds for donkey years in this country, for so many years, right? How many stadia or a stadium of international standards have we put since 1987? Nothing. Zero. The last stadium was Moi Kasarani during the leadership of President Moi. Even with all the bad things we have said about Moi, he's the only one who did 2 study our international standards in Kenya, the ones we used for Chan. I'm wondering if Moi didn't do this, where would we be? Now, yet we have this fund over these years, and it is being misused, I would say. The money has been misused over the years. I will explain to you what securitization is. Now, we decided as a country that we are not going to continue this business. We must use our resources prudently. So what are we doing with securitization? We have a predictable source of fund, money that is spent off budget.
Right.
Okay? Now, this money that is coming is an asset. And now I'm speaking to you as an accountant. We can sell the right on this asset.
Right.
When you sell the right, you sell also with risk. Okay? So we are selling the right. We are like, selling the right to get the money in advance. We are front-loading the money.
Right.
So we are saying instead of receiving this money in a couple of years, in small bits, up to the 10th year, we front-load it, get it now in terms of a solid sum, sell that right to an SPV, or a special purpose vehicle. When you sell the asset, you are also selling the risk. So there is no risk to the government. This is not a loan. A loan exposes the government to risk, whether it is liability or contingent liability. But this one has no contingent liability. You have even sold the risk, and that is the premium that now they charge you. So we sell the right to that money and sell also with the risk. So you cannot call it a loan.
So what is the cost?
The cost too?
What is the cost?
Now, I would tell you for the road maintenance levy, we got the money at 7.96%, which percentage, right, is way below if you went to the international market today to borrow. Even in our domestic market, this rate has been low until recently, when now our 91-day Treasury bill rates have come down to 8% last week. I don't know today what the rate was. I have not checked. But this rate is below even the rate at which we borrowed the UAE loan. This rate is below the Eurobond debt that we took. This rate is way below because we have sold a right and we have also sold the risk. Whereas if we went and borrowed Eurobond, we take the risk with us and it is a loan. Whereas if we go to UAE, which is a private placement, we'll get the loan and we have the risk still with us. This one you are selling the risk as well.
Who are these that bought?
Of course, these are the people who have bought are even local banks and international institutions. We have TDB. There are many players in the market who have bought it. It's not one individual. And it was open. And still it is open to people to come in and buy.
And what if the projections of the road maintenance levy fund are not achieved?
That is what you are saying. You sell the risk. And the risk is with the SPV.
Meaning?
The special purpose vehicle.
No, yes, I get that.
Yes.
So if you're selling that risk and they're not able, let's say they were hoping to collect up to 90 billion shillings in a year, and that is not happening, so then what? You
know, these people are in business. That is why they're charging 7.96. And on this one, this is not a loan. You have sold the risk. So they take the risk. All right? They take the risk. The advantage they have is that if you collect this money, you must give it to them. You cannot change your mind halfway. That's why we are saying we have sold the asset and the risk. So we cannot change midway and say now we have changed our mind.
So there's sort of a schedule of how much should go to them every month, or is it every quarter?
This is something, this is an agreement that is negotiated. It comes to the Treasury. We sign it from the line ministry to the Treasury. It took so many years. We have lead arranger, which was TDB Bank. They do due diligence. It goes to Attorney General for compliance. It's a very exhaustive thing. That is why, when I had one member of Parliament, who has actually been the chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, saying that we have taken secret loan. How can you talk about secret loan? Who has not known about
I think the question is that that information is not readily available in the public.
But I'm saying it.
Yes, you're saying it, but
who has asked for that information and it has not been provided? I'm ready to come back here and give any information about
securitization. Is it available in some documented form?
But why not? The treasury documents are available. They are uploaded in our website.
Such that if you wanted that information, it's possible to get it.
You can get that information. By the way, do you know Kenya Commercial Bank has bought Equity Bank was interested. I think they have also bought into this. Kenya Commercial Bank is our entity here. They have access to this document. Why can't you have access to it? It's only that you don't have money to invest here, Sam. That's why you are not interested. Those who have money to invest have seen this document.
I'm not asking for information to invest.
No, I'm just telling. No, I'm with a light touch, Sam. I'm just saying, if you had money to buy this,
the question is
to get into this.
The point is, you see, you're already saying that a member of parliament is misleading the public. To deal with that is to avail the information.
And that is exactly what I'm doing.
As a media house, I'll tell you, we've been looking for that information. We've not been lucky.
Where have you been looking for it?
From the government.
Why don't you ask for me? I can give you.
I have officially asked you. Please give me that information.
I will give you the information. But Sam, let me put it this way. There is nothing secret about securitization. This is a very noble idea. We have even talked about interest rates. We have said we are selling the rights. Now that money, the 7 shillings, is not available for us as a country, as this 18 is. 18 shillings is available for us to maintain our roads.
But there's a possibility of 5 more shillings.
Yes, if that is approved, still it is okay.
So how much have we received so far out of the target of...
The last time I checked, there was 60 billion that had come, which had already been paid out.
Yes.
And there was again another, I think, 60 billion coming. To pay. We had paid 40% to the contractors, and we were to pay another 40%. I need to check with the Ministry of Roads if the 60 billion has come, but it was supposed to come, I think.
They were largely pending bills.
Paying pending bills.
Okay. All right.
On roads, nothing else. It is very specific. This money is paying pending bills to unlock the road construction.
Okay. Talk to us, because we're still on the question of road construction. The deal about Rironi Mau Summit Road. We are reading that NSSF, in a partnership with CRBC, China Road and Bridge Company, are taking over. Is that so? Is that finalized?
No. You see, Sam, I don't want you to take me there.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
This is something that is still being done at some stage.
So it's not
Once
finalized.
it comes to me, you know, if I start making my comments here and I'm supposed to give approval, then I would be biased. But I know the process is on. The procurement process has been on. It is a PPP project or program. And I know, NSSF was partnering with the CRBC, and there was another one. So there were 2 interests. So if this consortium or joint venture coming together between NSSF has won it, so be it, I want to see the document. And make my comment based on the document. I am supposed to give some approval there.
All right. Fair enough on that. But I'm sure once that is finalized, we'll be looking for you.
Yeah, we can discuss. We can discuss it.
As well as the other relevant officers in government. Again, because, tell me, because it's been 1 year, is it, since you joined government?
That's right.
Have you seen any change to the status of the economy for common Mwananchi?
There has been change in the economy. This economy has faced turbulence. We are aware that this country has met shocks, both external and internal. Remember, we came out of COVID 2019, and then immediately after that, there was the world dynamics, the geopolitical issues around war in Ukraine and the war in Middle East. Now we have the trade barriers and all that. So we also have had challenges. Last year, we had our economy almost shut, 3 months, economic shutdown. And we lost the finance bill of 2024. And now, this year, again, in commemoration of the 25th of June and then Sabasaba, we've had challenges. But the good news is this, that from last year to date, a lot of positives have happened. What are the positives? Number one, in terms of looking at inflation, inflation has remained very steady, with below the midpoint, which is 5%. The latest data was 4.1%. Remember, there was a time our inflation had reached 9.6. If you check the prices of commodities, especially 2022, 2023 were very high.
Yeah.
The basic commodities, maize meal, the maize meal, maize itself, the beans, the sugar, even milk, petroleum products, the prices were very high. But they came down to last year. To this year, they have gone slightly higher. July of this year, higher than July last year, but still relatively not very high. Inflation is managed. Besides that, the shilling almost lost its footing last year because of a mistake that I think the government that went made of, you have a $2 billion, 260 billion shillings, debt coming for repayment, and you have no strategy at all, Eurobond. So that's almost caused a problem with the shilling, which lost ground up to about almost 165. Now the shilling from January, actually from late last year to date, the shilling has stabilized. From November, the shilling is between 128 and 130. In fact, the average is 129.2 to the dollar.
What is that?
This has had the effects of, the miracle is, number one, we manage that liability. Number two, we have managed the liability for 2027, early in 2025. Remember, I went to the market together with my team. We went to the market in February, early this year, to liability manage 2027. Many people didn't understand it. If you look at the rating by S&P, which has upgraded Kenya, they gave 3 reasons why they did that. Actually, 2. Divided into 3. The first reason why they felt that Kenya now, in terms of debt sustainability, has improved, or credit rating, is 1, the current account balance has narrowed. Our deficit has come down. Why? Because exports have increased. Our exports grew, or it's growing at by about 7.7%. And 2, the diaspora remittances have increased. But the third reason why this has happened is because we managed to de-risk and liability manage the Eurobond of 2027. So there is no risk of default on the part of Kenya. And that is a major step.
What's our payout in 2027? The payout.
What we paid, that Eurobond was $900 million US, but we paid about $600 million US. So the 300 remaining we have been paying, we decided to pay in 3 years.
Okay.
So, but this would have fallen due in 2027. By May of 2027. Now this year we paid another 103. We are paying another 100 next year, and then we pay in May 2027 just 100. If we were going to pay 900 in one bullet payment, it was going to put a strain on us because there are also other debts. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, just allow me. Look, the credits to the private sector had slackened to negative. Now it is growing at 3.3%. And the rates, the average bank lending rates have come down from 17.2% to 15.3%. Meaning now the bank loans are getting cheaper and cheaper. And this is informed also by the fact that government is now borrowing. Remember, June last year, when I was getting into office, we were borrowing 91-day treasury bill was at 16%. 15.6, 16. Today, last week, it was at 8%, half, meaning the government is borrowing cheaply. Now, compounded together, these have a positive effect on the economy. I am not saying that we have hit it. I'm not saying that we have reached where we should be, but we are progressively moving towards economic stability. That is why I am calling upon Kenyans to support expenditure reforms as well, so that we hit our target. Yes.
Fine, but also during that time that you've become a cabinet secretary, you're also seeing the deficit went up slightly, not as a percentage, but in absolute figures, to about 923 billion shillings, meaning the government is actually going to borrow from the local market more, never mind at a cheaper rate. But also, you had mentioned, I think it was in April, just after Parliament had passed the conflict of interest bill, which was later vetoed by the president. Have we now sorted out what we were waiting to access from the World Bank? Was it about 750? No, or how much?
750 million US dollars.
Exactly. Yeah. Have we sorted that out?
Yeah. So let me answer you first on the budget deficit.
Yeah.
The budget deficit for last year was 5.3% of GDP. Yeah. For this year, it is 5.8% of GDP. At the face of it, you may assume that we have regressed in terms of fiscal consolidation. But I want to tell you, far from it. Remember last year, we had this deficit, but there were carryovers, which we didn't factor. One of them was money to counties. We had 31 billion that was supposed to go to counties. We did not transfer to counties. And we came with it into 2024-25 year, when Nawa was the CS, you remember.
Yes.
2, there was 26 billion that was go to pay our pensioners. That was not paid. 3, there was 13 billion going to CDF that we didn't pay. 4, there was about 158 billion going to other MDAs for exchequer requests that we didn't service. The total, 218 billion. Now, this amount as a percentage of GDP is 1.3%. If you add 1.3% to 5.3%, you get what?
6.
You get 6.6%.
Yeah.
This is the real deficit that we close the year with. Now, what happened in 2024-25? First, we did not have carryovers. So this 5.8 is absolute. Okay. Now, we didn't carry forward any money to counties. We paid the last one on 26th of June. Yeah?
Yeah.
And remember, we not only paid or transferred money to counties for 24-25, we even transferred the carryover for the previous year. We did not only pay the 54 billion to CDF, we paid 13 billion the carryover, total 68.
Even though
we paid all the money, we paid all the money
before the end of the year,
going to the pensioners.
Even though there's been complaints that the money came in 2 weeks to the end of the year, which was very difficult to really even
that is not a genuine complaint. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
The only money that we released on 29th was the money for that June. It's the one we released on 29th.
We should have come.
The money for May, we paid on 19th of June. Now, the bottom line is we allowed the system to operate for another 2 weeks. For the money to be sent. So there are no issues. And that is why you have not had counties, which county is complaining about exchequer?
We had a deputy governor here from Murang'a County, and he mentioned that issue as a concern.
Probably doesn't know. Maybe he needs to check with his government.
Stephen Onani was speaking to us. I asked you the question about Conflict of Interest Act, Conflict of Interest.
Yeah, so the World Bank was supposed to release what we call DPO 7, yeah? Now, this money, it was 750 million, which they didn't release because the prior conditions were not fulfilled. We had fulfilled a number of conditions, but there are quite a few that were remaining. One of them was conflict of interest bill. The other one was the social protection bill. Now, these bills have since been processed and the conditions met. So we expect that by September, latest early October, we should get the funding from World Bank because these conditions have been met.
The money was meant for the previous financial year?
Yes, but you see, the World Bank is not even tied to a financial year. It is us who budgeted for it in the previous financial year. Since it didn't come, we went for other sources of funding. And so that money is available for us for this financial year, if we agree with the World Bank.
That's your point. The final question, the past few months, or is it many now, there has been something ongoing, an empowerment program by members of parliament, members of the executive across the country. Does it concern you about how money is being spent in a bid to empower the economy? Do you think that model works for the economy?
You see, I would only be concerned if the requisition was coming to the ministry or to government to release money for that program. Then I would ask the value for money out of it. And at that time, I would give it proper assessment. But because this is private money that I'm not answerable to the source for, then I don't have any obligation to talk about it.
It's private money?
It's private money. What I hear is, or what I see, is individuals contributing their money in these functions. So since they have not come and made a request for the money, I am not under any obligation to ask where the money is coming from. If anything, I'm not an investigative arm of government.
For sure you're not. Does that model work for the economy, in your opinion?
Which model? Well, you see, to be honest and frank, if these groups are organized groups and they're getting funding and people have become, they are, what do I call it, philanthropic. Generous, and they are giving groups. I have also contributed money in functions, and I continue to contribute, including even for building classrooms. even though there is CDF. I contribute money to churches.
Yeah.
As to whether that money has value, it is my personal money. I feel there is value there. Now, groups, if organized well, by the way, especially women groups, it can make a whole lot of difference. Some, I will tell you, money you give to women groups help them so much.
Okay.
Only if now this money is coming from state coffers, then the question would be, is it the priority?
Okay.
But since it is private money, why some do you want me to comment on people's
No, I mean, your answer is that it's private money, which is fine. Then the other thing is Harambee Stars has been playing, and they have been promised up to 5 million shillings by the president. Just today he said that the government will pay 50% of their affordable houses that cost 2 million shillings. Where is that money coming from?
First of all, Sam, you know, if I was in a position to allocate a budget for Harambee Stars, more money, and which I am, I would do it. Because we need to promote sport. Yeah. I know very well that we have money in the sport kitty to support sports. We also have money in housing programs. Yeah. So the country is not lacking resources in that space. So is it, when Harambee Stars play, is it not a national team? Are we not supposed to support a national team? When our team is going to run out there in Olympics, are we not supporting them? Are we not giving them money? Should we not reward players if they have done well?
Indeed, you should.
You know, sometimes I find Kenyans are very interesting. When you don't support sport, they complain. When you do, they complain.
Nobody's complaining here, Waziri. In fact, Kenyans are very happy that Harambee Stars for the first time.
I don't know where the question is coming from.
The question is coming from this. We have a budget.
Yes.
And budgets are financed, resources come in, they go to specific votes. I'm simply asking, this 5 million shillings per player, under what vote? If,
you know, the president has spoken.
Yeah.
The president has not communicated to me officially. If the president asks me to make provision in the budget for supporting Harambee Stars, I will do it because I feel it is necessary. And if Parliament approves, then it will go to them. But you see, the president has made that pledge, and I've told you there is money under sports fund.
There's money that has already been paid. He already paid
the first 1 million. Pardon?
He already paid the first 1 million.
But you see, you know, the money could be spent at the state department level. There is a budget under the State Department. If you asked me, I would have come here. You know, you didn't tell me that you are also going to ask me questions about Harambee Stars and the sports fund and the budget. I would have checked the budget line for sports and seen how much we provided for such activity. But what I'm saying is I would not have any apology to make to spend on Harambee Stars. It's a national team.
All right, Waziri, thank you so much for making time for us to have this conversation about e-government procurement and, of course, the other issues concerning the country. There's so much to talk about. I'm sure we'll get another opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you, and I hope some now Kenyans have understood e-procurement.
Indeed.
And I'm so passionate about this.
Yeah.
This thing must be rolled out, and resistance must be minimized. I have told my team at the National Treasury that on this one, don't stand on my way. This one we must implement. This is the one way that we are going to save Kenyans a lot of money in terms of revenue, the expenditure rationalization.
Expenditure rationalization. Yes. Thank you, Waziri, for making time for us. And we're taking a short break. When we come back, we have some more stories to brief you about, including business and sports. Stay tuned.